Breakfast in Barbados.
Good morning and welcome to Breakfast in Barbados. Well, even though Christmas is in the air, we're still talking all things independence this week. So, as I would say, Merry Independence to you. And I met two wonderful gentlemen from the Barbados Museum, Kevin Farmer and Miguel Pina. So let's go and listen to what they had to tell us. Welcome back to Breakfast in Barbados. And of course, this is the Independence Edition, and we are at the Barbados Museum. And with me this morning, we have Kevin Farmer, who is the Deputy Director of the Barbados Museum. I got that right, right, Kevin?
Yep, morning.
And we have Miguel Pina. Yes. Who's the Assistant Curator of the museum. Good morning, gentlemen.
Thank you. Morning.
What better place to be than the Barbados Museum as it relates to the history of Barbados and learning all about things Bajan. So I'll start with you, Kevin.
Sure.
And your role here. What is it that you do at the museum?
Oh no.
You have too many things?
Too many things.
General.
I'm responsible for the curatorial department, who are responsible for the exhibitions and programs that happen at the museum. And I'm also responsible for capital development at the museum. That's it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come to you, Miguel, because putting together some of these exhibits must be quite fascinating. But I want to talk to you about not just schools. Thank you, Chef Tosh. Thank you so much.
Breakfast. Thank you.
Some aloe vera
Thanks, Chef.
for us this morning. We know schools still come, and during the summer we have lots of tours. It's traditional. I remember coming to the museum as a child, and so fascinating. It was like I was into books, and the museum was just a way of bringing history alive, and I'd stand there and I'd just be like totally fascinated. I remember the teacher having to say, "Come on, Carol, come on, you keep up, keep up." I would get left behind. But getting the average Bajan now, older Barbadians, because you do get visitors, because while we've been here, we've had lots of visitors coming through, getting people to come out and see the museum, the new museum, is that a challenge for you?
It's a challenge, but at the same time, it's a challenge I think we can meet. I'll give an example. This summer, we did two wonderful programs called Torchlight Tours of the Museum. We only advertised on Facebook because we were trying them out for the first time. The first event, we had maybe 190 people.
Oh, maybe. Just
maybe 190. The second event, we had over 200 people.
Wow.
You come to the museum, all the lights are off, and you're guided through the museum with a torchlight. And at certain intervals, you're going to meet historical characters.
Okay.
You're going to interact with them, they with you, they'll tell you their story. And it ended with a village scene in the lower courtyard. And the wonderful thing about that is that we got older Barbadians, but more importantly, we got younger Barbadians coming out. Some of whom had never been to the museum, but heard about it. A friend invited them and they said, sure, it sounded fascinating. And they were overwhelmed. They loved it. And we're going to do it again.
You sound like you were really fascinated
Oh,
with
I
it
was
as well.
too.
Oh my goodness,
of course.
experiencing it for yourself.
History has to be brought alive for people to appreciate it. And we need to appreciate our history more. And for me, this is a place where our history not only comes alive, but where our history is held and taught.
Wow. Okay. Miguel now, Assistant Curator, what is your role with the museum?
Right, well, I'm the Assistant Curator of Social History because you've got two other curatorial positions. You have the Curator of Art and Art History, and the other position would be the Curator of Natural History, so the natural environment, flora and fauna. So basically what I do here is, in addition to documenting artifacts in the collection, I also help prepare and develop social history exhibitions, as well as programmatic events for the Barbados Museum.
So when you're talking about social history, you're talking about the way people lived.
That is correct.
Actual day-to-day life, what happened, how they did what they did, who they were, what they wore.
Why they did what they did.
Wow.
All sorts of interesting things. So basically, you're looking at the island's socioculture. And as you're saying, what people did, what they wore, how they lived, folkways, what they ate, what their dreams were, what their aspirations were, positives and negatives, of course. That's the business that we deal in.
Wow. Okay. So putting that side of you, like it sounds like a lot of research, first of all. Then putting that in a format that the public can appreciate, bringing it alive now. How do you do that?
Right, so one of the major I would say, elements of being a curator is interpretation. We take what professional historians have spent many years researching, and that this is not a jab at professional historians, but often sometimes a lot of their work is very academic. It's aimed for an academic audience. And what we do is we take that, we interpret it, and we translate it for the average person. Okay? And we do it in a way which, one of the keys of interpretation is relating. Okay? And I think that's important. You know, you see the garrison space, of course, and you relate that. People see it as a place where, you know, you've got horse racing, kite flying, but, you know, in a few days' time, 49 years ago, that's where Barbados's flag went up and the Union Jack came down and Barbados became an independent nation. Okay? So relating spaces to people is also very important.
Well, we're going to be back right here on Breakfast in Barbados with Kevin and Miguel.
Breakfast in Barbados.
L and there.
L and there.
L and there.
L and there. How do you L and there? Take a moment to L and there with your options of yago, fruits, and 0% fat yogurts made from real milk using real fruits.
Distributed by Supreme Distributors.
Eggs are the most affordable source of protein around. They contain choline to help with your memory, as well as vitamin A, B, D, and K. Eggs promote healthy hair and nails because of their high sulfur content and wide array of vitamins and minerals. Star Chick eggs are very, very tasty. Be wise and follow the star, I say. Eat Star Chick eggs each and every day.
Star Chick.
Are you in the mood for West Indian food? Or maybe you think you like a nice drink. It's the Caribbean Cooking Channel. Caribbean Cooking Channel. From island to island, something for everyone. Tasty recipes from the West Indies. It's the Caribbean Cooking Channel. Caribbean Cooking Channel.
Tune in to the Caribbean Cooking Channel on MCTV Channel 117.
Think fish. Think Ocean Fisheries. For the freshest marlin, dolphin, billfish, snapper, salmon, tuna, and flying fish, Ocean Fisheries is what you need. Located in Warren's Industrial Park, St. Michael, we open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays. We also carry seafood products like shrimp, lobster, scallops, squid, and mussels. We're HACCP Certified because the best quality seafood we supply. Call us at 425-FISH and place your orders today. Think fish. Think Ocean Fisheries.
MIS spices have been flavoring the pots of Barbadians for over 25 years. Available island-wide at all leading supermarkets, MIS spices come in a wide variety of flavors, like black pepper, Cajun spice, bacon bits, crushed chili flakes, coriander powder, cumin powder, curry powder, basil leaves, celery salt, and blackened spice. Celebrity chefs and mixologists use MIS spices to enhance the flavor of their creations. MIS products, making it special for you.
L and there.
L there.
L and there.
L and there. How do you L and there? Take a moment to L and there with your options of yago, fruits, and 0% fat yogurts made from real milk using real fruits.
Distributed by Supreme Distributors.
Breakfast in Barbados.
I'm going to sit here and have my coffee, and we will go back to the Barbados Museum with Kevin and Miguel. How do you decide what you're going to do, or if you're going to change up anything, or will you be changing up anything in preparation for our 50th as well? Because we have to look ahead. You can't wait until November next year.
No, and we're not. And in fact, I guess I'll use your show, if I can, as the opportunity to, in a way, launch that. Next year for the 50th, it's going to be called Independence 50. But the difference is, we want Barbadians to help us curate that show. We want to know, what do you want to see? So share not only your ideas, but your memories and your artifacts. Because the other thing that differentiates a museum from anywhere else is you not only hear the story or read it, but you get to see and sometimes touch the artifact. Because objects are important. That's how we connect with people and ideas. But this is one where we want the entire Barbadian population living in Barbados and living outside of Barbados to help us curate that show, because it's about you.
Wow. So all of these items, all of these artifacts that you will probably get, because
Yes.
every year as you look around Barbados, schools are doing something special. You would go through a school and you would see all these wonderful things, the irons coming out, those special steam irons that used to go on top of the butt pot, as we call it, and the wood fires. You can imagine getting all of those. So you have this plan, but then more likely than not, your team is going to have to put it together, Miguel.
Precisely.
That's a lot of work.
It is. But you only turn 50 once.
True.
And you've got to celebrate it.
Absolutely.
You've got to celebrate it.
So how are you working towards getting that done from an actual exhibit now point of view? What are you going to be doing? Is the whole, like right now we're in the courtyard segment, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it.
Thank you.
Are you going to be using all of this space, or just indoor space, or a combination of indoors and outdoors?
Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to be very open-minded. There are many spaces that are available to the Barbados Museum, both here at the museum, but also off-site as well. We would want it obviously here because we want us to be the focus, but at the same time we recognize that Barbadians are everywhere. And not just a tangible space, but we recognize the fact that the world has gone digital. And an exhibition of this nature will and does need to be in a format that is digital as well too, so that the diaspora, and there are Barbadians everywhere, the diaspora can access it and can participate in it.
Okay.
And contribute as well.
So you're looking for people who probably have those photos of, dad or granddad or great-grandfather standing beside those bicycles and all those kind of things.
What I'd really like to get, I'd like to get a picture of someone in what they wore to the Supremes concert at around the time of independence.
Okay.
Because lots of Barbadians don't know that the Supremes, Diana Ross et al., there was a concert in the Careenage. They were on a barge in the Careenage, and the crowd was so thick and massive. There was a slight riot. And the telling image is a police barricade, which we all know, bent on the front page of The Advocate the following day.
Wow.
But I've never seen photos of persons, you know how we do now, we'll go out, but we'll take a selfie. Well, selfies aren't anything new. People did them back then. And I would like to see some of those so we can tell that of a social aspect. Because we view independence sometimes politically, but it's a social transformation.
Right.
You actually got to walk around afterwards with a passport and an identification card that proclaimed that Barbados was an independent nation and that you were a Barbadian, not that you were a British subject. And how then did people who went to school for the first time having to learn the national anthem and pledge that we now take for granted?
That is very true.
What were the other submissions of pledges and anthems and flags in '66? how did people feel about it? And more importantly, what did Barbadians song like in 66 as opposed to 2016? Because our accent has changed.
Really?
Yes. And we plan to show that in the exhibit as well.
This sounds like this is going to be really fascinating. So there's one appeal. If your parents or grandparents or great-grandparents, they were at that concert with the Supremes in 1966, and you have any pictorial evidence, send it or find a way to get it to the Barbados Museum, because they're looking for something special for the 50th anniversary next year. Well, Miguel, I want to get back to you on what's happening now, because we're not just going to wait until next year to come to the museum. And what's happening now that locals and visitors can enjoy within the museum?
Wonderful. In October, the museum opened the Landship exhibition, How Stands the Weather?, which essentially is an exhibition which looks at the history of the Barbados landship and the various landships which have existed in Barbados from the mid-19th century coming right up to the present. It examines what that institution is, what it meant for people, what it means for people, and how it evolved. The exhibition is going to be up until, is it the end of this year?
End of this year.
End of this year. So you've got time to come and see it.
I'm not leaving today unless I see it. Not leaving.
To come and see it. The exhibition was, a lot of the work that was done on that exhibition is based on the research of Dr. Marcia Burrows, as well as Dr. Alison Ramsey, and it's a fantastic exhibition. And Catherine Murrell as well, Miss Catherine Murrell.
Okay, well, you said Dr. Marcia Burrows, and she taught me history at school, so excellent history teacher. She knew how to bring, or knows how to bring history alive, really and truly. So there's something that you can see now. You can come to the museum, and for locals, is there a charge to get into the museum?
There's no charge for locals. It's free.
It's absolutely free. Come on over and bring the children. I mean, there's so much history here. There's so much that you can learn.
And we even open on Sundays.
There
2
you
to
go.
6.
There you go. All right. Well, you're watching Breakfast in Barbados, and when we come back, I'm going to be asking these gentlemen about what is Bajan to them. What is uniquely Bajan? Any memories? Maybe a song? But we'll see. We'll be right. It doesn't matter. We'll be back on Breakfast in Barbados.
Breakfast in Barbados.
Elle and There.
Elle and There.
Elle and There.
Elle and There. How do you Elle and There? Take a moment to Elle and There with your options of yago, fruits, and 0% fat yogurts made from real milk using real fruits.
Distributed by Supreme Distributors.
Star Chick, eggs and chicken.
Eggs are the most affordable source of protein around. They contain choline to help with your memory, as well as vitamin A, B, D, and K. Eggs promote healthy hair and nails because of their high sulfur content and wide array of vitamins and minerals. Star Chick eggs are very, very tasty. Be wise and follow the star, I say. Eat Star Chick eggs each and every day.
Star Chick.
MIS spices have been flavoring the pots of Barbadians for over 25 years. Available island-wide at all Eden supermarkets, MIS spices come in a wide variety of flavors, like black pepper, Cajun spice, bacon bits, crushed chili flakes, coriander powder, cumin powder, curry powder, basil leaves, celery salt, and blackened spice. Celebrity chefs and mixologists use MIS spices to enhance the flavor of their creations. MIS products, making it special for you.
Veggie Season Up gives you the right rhythm to season your fish and fresh veggies in perfect harmony so that you hit the right note from the very start.
Are you in the mood for West Indian food? Or maybe you think you like a nice drink. It's the Caribbean Cooking Channel. Caribbean Cooking Channel. From island to island, something for everyone. Tasty recipes from the West Indies. It's the Caribbean Cooking Channel. Caribbean Cooking Channel.
Tune in to the Caribbean Cooking Channel on MCTV Channel 117.
Think fish, think ocean fisheries. For the freshest marlin, dolphin, billfish, snapper, salmon, tuna, and flying fish, Ocean Fisheries is what you need. Located in Warren's Industrial Park, St. Michael, we open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Saturdays. We also carry seafood products like shrimp, lobster, scallops, squid, and mussels. We're HACCP Certified because the best quality seafood we supply. Call us at 425-FISH and place your orders today. Think fish, think Ocean Fisheries.
Breakfast in Barbados.
We're back here on Breakfast in Barbados, and we're at the Barbados Museum. And I want to ask you, gentlemen, before we finish up, something, a memory you have, something, an event that you would love to see come back as it relates to all things Barbadian that really pops into your head. Kevin, you go first.
I've got two. The memory is Christmas morning in the park. Getting dressed. No, seriously.
That is so dangerous.
Getting dressed up, depending how old you are, by your parent, or later on when you could dress yourself, and going into the park, hearing the Royal Barbados Police Force Band play, eating a candied apple, and just watching the people walk past.
Wow.
That for me is quintessentially Barbadian Christmas. In terms of something I'd like to see come back, I'd like to see the burning of Mr. Harding come back. No, I'm being serious. Fire is cathartic. And we have traditions of masquerade, and there were actually traditions of burning things in effigy. And there's a creativity behind that as well that I would like to see come back.
Wow.
Guy Fawkes Nights, which we no longer do.
Yeah, used to celebrate that November 5th.
November 5th. The town of Lewis in England, in the south, they've got the original Burning Man. People build fantastic effigies and burn them all night long. And people from all over England actually go down to Lewis just to see that happen. Could you imagine us doing that on the savannah, or finding some really nice massive pasture somewhere in St. Philip? Yes, I use St. Philip deliberately because, I'm from the
Are you from
Republic.
St. Philip? We would never have guessed. We would never have guessed, Miguel.
But to see that creativity come alive in that way, I think would be interesting.
And I tell you, there are two. As soon as you said that, I remember Mighty Gabby.
There you go.
And Red Plastic Bike. Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. Okay, so you got two.
I
I'm
got
coming
two.
back to you. So Miguel, what about you?
Yeah, so many memories. I think it's almost I would say, things that, memories as a child, those old battleship grey cars. There's an old man driving it with a license plate from St. John somewhere around, right?
Austin, Cambridge.
Something like that,
Morris Minor.
That's one. That's one. The scent of a sugarcane field when it's being freshly cut. The sight of a sugarcane field at night, particularly when it's got the arrows up and it's a full moon, and you've got that silver, and it looks like this wave. It looks like a sea almost. That's another memory for me that really comes out. As relates to things like cuisine, I would say that I'm riffing off here with Kevin as relates to Christmas. Jug. It's just, it's not Christmas unless you have that dish. That dish. Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people don't know about it, and a lot of people don't
Really?
seem to
I
like
love
like
Jug
it.
Jug.
So do I.
It's the only thing I eat Christmas Day.
What?
Ask my mother.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So those are just some of the things. Things that have gone, that have come, that are coming, that are gone, that I'd like to see come back. I would say. I mean, you know, it's just. I don't know. I mean, I think that there seems to be in Barbados maybe a community spirit has changed. I think Barbadians sadly seem to be less personable. So that's something I'd like to see come back.
That
you know,
gathering, those kind of
that type of
gatherings and-
exactly. I mean, I remember as a child house parties where they were multi-generational. Basically, it was like a gathering of families. Okay, and it was several generations: grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. And those are things that I think that, because your family really starts with your community, and then it grows to the people who you live around and next door. And I think those are things that I'd like to see come back.
And the party wasn't the party unless the grapefruit is stuffed with either prunes with peanut butter or cheese with cherries.
Cheese with cherries. Yeah,
Cheese with
you got
cherries.
it. You have it.
We're
It's
showing
there,
we're
I
showing our
remember.
age.
Yep, I remember my grandmother's table definitely had to have one of those grapefruits with the cheese and cherries. One more before we go. You're in a Bajan unless.
Ooh. Now that is hard. There's so many. I'm gonna do the two again. You're in a Bajan unless you like plus.
No, action. Oh, the action drink. Remember, that's what it used to be called, right?
And you're in a Bajan till you know how to use one properly.
True. All right, you're in a Bajan unless.
Unibajan, unless when you were a child you were frightened by your grandparents with stories about duppies. So there's that one, definitely.
That is so true.
You ain't a Bajan unless you have a pudding and sauce lady.
You have to know where to get the best pudding and sauce in your neighborhood. That is true.
Correct, you need to know where to go.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank
This
you.
has been wonderful, and we look forward to what continues to happen at the Barbados Museum, and we're looking forward to the 50th Independence Anniversary, where you have something really big planned and you can get involved. So thank you so much for joining us today on Breakfast in Barbados. Bye-bye now.
Morning's here, not much time.